Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Quite a packed show this morning. We've had the Premier League fixtures released for next season. Some updates from Germany around the Jadon Sancho deal. Interest from France around Paul Pogba. And rumours of Jesse Lingard and a new contract, which feeds directly into what we were talking about yesterday, about mates rates and Ollie potentially not being strong enough to make the big decisions at this football club when it comes to people that he favours. So we'll be talking about that as well. Also, just want to start off by saying Ronaldo. Not going to talk about Ronaldo, but what I say about Ronaldo is, I suppose I'm technically talking about Ronaldo. Did you see the crowds at Hungary yesterday? And when I'm saying I reckon United would try and do that deal for shirt sales, and people are saying no, we wouldn't. That guy is like a rock star of football. You buy Ronaldo, you bring so much exposure to your club. You probably get 20 million new fans overnight. So just watch out for that Ronaldo thing. Watch out for that Ronaldo thing. Okay, let's get straight into the show with Sancho. But first of all, I've just remembered United Stand picks. You might remember this from during the season. Every game we played from January to the end of the season, we had United Stand picks where you can play free on the app and win cash prizes. You've got to be over 18 to play because it is cash prizes. You answer 12 questions about the game. The people with the most points, there's a live leaderboard, win the cash prizes from the cash prize pot. We're doing it for the Euros as well. So if you've already downloaded the app, you may as well play. It's free to play. And if you want to play it, just download the app. The link's in the video description. As I say, free to enter, but you've got to be over 18 because we are giving away cash prizes. The featured game today is Wales against Turkey. 12 questions to do with that game. And obviously, as I said, answer the question, see how you're doing during the game, and if you're at the top of the leaderboard at the end, you win the cash prizes. And if you've already downloaded it, you may as well play, and if you haven't, the link's in the video description. Wales, Turkey is the game, 12 questions. Of course, Dan James is playing, so a bit of United connection is there as well. So check out United Stand Picks, link in the video description. Terms and conditions and everything are in the video description as always. So let's give you the update on Jadon Sancho. Nice shirt, thank you. Thank you, it's hot. It's hot today, so I'm just going for that sort of linen sort of shirt look. I want to talk about the Premier League fixtures, but let me just bring you an update on Jadon Sancho. Bit of frustration starting to build, and funnily enough, this is coming from Bild. What a lead-in. Bild in Germany, Bild Sport, are saying that Dortmund will let Jadon Sancho leave for a total sum of 95 million euros, which I believe is around 80 million pounds, isn't it? They want 90 million as a guaranteed sum in euros, and this has been relayed to United last week during the first round of negotiations. However, United offer was a guaranteed transfer fee of 78 million euros, 12 million short. Now, there is a lot of stories this morning, and United and Dortmund are getting closer and closer. But to be honest with you, I believe the deal will happen. That is not the frustration. The deal will happen, but this has very big similarities to Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire and every other deal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, where United are very close to a deal and negotiate the life out of it to end up paying 80 million quid. And that ultimately is what's going to happen here. But we are very close in relation to transfer fee, but don't ever believe we're very close to this deal being announced, because we've been in this road with Bruno, Maguire, Pogba, Wan-Bissaka, and those deals took 6 weeks. As I said before, my frustration is that this was negotiated last summer. We didn't get him last summer, and now again, we're negotiating again for another 6 weeks. And I firmly believe that this transfer window is not going to be what we expect, because I believe that this club is messing about on purpose again, messing about on a deal that should have been done very quickly and moved on from so that we can do other deals. And I think United are going to drag this out for as long as they can, and then marquee signing in July, mid-July, and basically will have spent 50% of this transfer window on a Jadon Sancho deal, which will be held up as the massive, amazing deal that should have happened last summer, and it will waste half of our transfer window, and we will hit the middle of July, Sancho will be the signing, and then they'll be like, oh, we're running out of time. And this is where I think we're being played, and this is my concern, because this deal should have been done very quickly. The world and his dog knows that Jadon Sancho is worth £80 million. So why are United not just paying it and moving on to other deals? And I think it's all a smokescreen. I think that, we're taking our time on the Sancho deal because we know we're not going to deliver a centre defensive midfielder. We know we're not going to deliver a very good centre back. And we know we're going to upset the fans on what's going to happen with Pogba. And we know we're going to upset the fans on what's happening with the goalkeeping situation. I ultimately think we will probably sign Sancho, lose Pogba, keep Jesse Lingard, Lingard and buy a centre-back. And is that a good transfer window? You lose Pogba for Sancho. You could argue that Pogba's more important than Sancho. You keep Lingard as already here. Effectively, you just buy a centre-back. So I am worried. Because not that I don't think we're going to sign Sancho, but I just think we're messing about. I don't disagree with some people who are a little bit positive saying that, look, what other club has signed a big signing so far? I agree with that. But don't compare Manchester United to other clubs. When Chelsea do their business, it'll be bang, bang, bang. Man City, it'll be bang. Liverpool, it'll be bang. Manchester United are not on the same planet in a transfer policy to those big clubs. So, look, you have your concerns, I'll have mine. My concern is this is going to be another frustrating transfer window where we'll all have to bow down to the signing of Jadon Sancho, which should have happened last year, and they won't deliver on anything else. I am genuinely concerned about where this is going. And as I said, there's a lot of people saying that, look, Sancho's going to happen and it will happen, but when it's going to happen, look, United are they're bleeding the joy out of the Sancho deal anyway because it's been going on for so long. But they're also now elongating this deal purposely, I believe, to make it drag out for as long as possible to leave them no time to do the business that they know they need to do. Hope I'm going to be wrong on that, but let's wait and see. Fixtures, before I talk about Pogba and Lingard. So fixtures have come out for Manchester United. I'm sure many of you have seen them. And look, small club mentality, says Michel. And not getting Varane in this window, provided that this is the most attainable he has been, will be stupid. Getting Torres or Koundé, what do you want? Want 3 more years for them to grow, says Anarud. United just want to sell the growth. As long as they keep keep telling you that we're building, then you will keep believing we're building and we'll never get there. And they'll keep, just saying that we're building. But look at these first 6 fixtures of the season for United. Then this is where the frustration could grow. Because if we did get Sancho and we did get Varane and we did get a really good centre defensive midfielder and we retained the quality that we've got, add a good right winger, a good CDM and a good centre back, look at the first fixtures of the season. I'm just getting a little bit concerned, as I said last night, that we're wandering into what happened with Mourinho, where he finished second. There's a real opportunity to bounce up and get into a title race, and the club don't actually do it. They bullshit people. First 6 games of the season, Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Villa. And then after that, you've got Everton and Leicester. So effectively, our first 8 games of the season, if we brought the right players in, we could have a really good start to the season and effectively get ourselves into a title race. All right, do I trust this current United side to go and win the first 6 games of the season? Of course I don't. We could drop points against anybody. Villa, Leeds, Wolves, United could drop points against anybody. But if you add in a top-class centre-back, a top-class CDM and a top-class right winger to the team we've got in those first 6 games of the season, we could have 18 points. If I was the Manchester United board this morning and I saw that fixture list, I would be on the phone to all of my agents, all the agents, all the scouts, all the negotiators, and I would say, get these fucking deals done. We cannot be buying players once the season starts, because obviously the August transfer window doesn't close till the end of August. The end of August we'll have played 3-4 Premier League games. I would be on the phone now. Get these deals done. Get them done. If we get everybody in and give Ollie a few weeks to train with them and we hit the ground running, we can be top of the league at the end of October. Let's go and get these deals done. But they won't. They won't be doing that because we're a business. We're not a football club. Everything is in place. We finished second. We've had some really good performances. We're 3 players away. Get the 3 players in. That start to the season. They're all winnable games. We've got real momentum to go into this season. But where is that momentum? It's got to come from the board. And if they don't deliver that momentum, what an opportunity. What an opportunity. And I'm telling you now, Jadon Sancho on his own is not going to make us title contenders when Paul Pogba's walking towards the door. And that's a fact. Weird how many say Pogba running contract down and not signing a new one. What else can we expect? He has ambition and is nothing but world class if the team complements him. We saw that yesterday. United don't deserve Pogba, says Akshay. I sort of agree with you, mate. If Haaland, Calvert-Lewin are unattainable next summer, I like the idea of doing a Zlatan, Cavani and bringing in Lewandowski to nurture, wasting another 2 years, thoughts, says Duncan. Not a bad idea. Does Pogba's performance expose how poorly managed he is at United and still no concrete CDM target? Do you feel like Ollie knows what he's doing, says Julian S? I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which I'll talk about Lingard in a minute, will do exactly what he's told to do by the board. And I think we've always known that. He's in the hands of the board. It's his dream job. He is not Ancelotti. He is not Mourinho. He is not Pep Guardiola. And he is not Jurgen Klopp. He is not going to bang on the door demanding signings, because at the end of the day, that board did Ole a massive favour. And I think Ole is a man of principle. He is a man of his word. He is a man of morals, and he is indebted to the Glazers and Ed Woodward for giving him the opportunity that nobody else would do. And nobody ever thinks of it like this. I mean, ultimately, whether you're Ole in, Ole out, Ole out, that is a very interesting point of view, isn't it? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got a dream job at Manchester United because Ed Woodward and the Glazers gave it to him when nobody else would have done. Come in and be interim manager at United. Oh, you did really well. Here's the job. Do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would ever stand up to Woodward or the Glazers? Like when the Glazer out campaign was going on, people were moaning that Ole wasn't saying anything. Why would he? You know, whether you like it or not, he is indebted to those people. They have given him a massive opportunity. He is not going to be banging on the door saying, where's my signings, where's my signings. That's not who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. So, I think that we're in for a very interesting transfer window, and all the pressure's on the board. They're the people who've got to deliver, because the manager's not going to make it happen, because the manager is very happy with the position he's in. And that will be the same at other clubs. But on the situation of Paul Pogba, Zane says, Mark, why do you want to buy Sancho if you can't get in the England team? We're getting Zaha and maybe Sterling, who have proved it, are much cheaper, says Zane Miassi. Yeah, you're not going to get those players. Hi Mark, my friend from Ireland has gone missing in the US, and I was hoping you could give me a retweet. I've at EdU and United Stand on Twitter, says James. If you tell me what you are, mate, I will certainly do that for you, because people who at me on Twitter, there's quite a lot, unfortunately. So yeah, just let me know what your account is, and we will definitely do that. Welcome to the Members Club P. So in relation to Paul Pogba, the story this morning is that, let me just find out where it was. I know it was on, which account was it on? I think it was on at the United Journal. Let me just find it. It was via somebody else. So it's via Calcio Mercato, and what they're saying is that Leandro Herrero talks to Mino Raiola and dreams of bringing Paul Pogba to PSG. Juventus have also not given up in recent months, and their hope is to set up a negotiation with United by including Ronaldo in the discussions. We're going to be talking about a new deal for Jesse Lingard in a moment as well, which I think is really, really interesting. But let's talk about Pogba first of all. I mean, look, Pogba yesterday for France, he won man of the match. I mean, look, whether he was man of the match or not, he had a really good performance, and I was very impressed with Paul Pogba. And I'm always impressed. When Pogba plays for France, he's different to when he plays for Manchester United. Whether he's happier, whether he's freer. I think where Pogba played for France yesterday is his best position. I love what I loved about Pogba yesterday is I think it exposed that. At James, let me just write it down. At James. Thanks, mate. I'll do that. But I think what we saw yesterday from Paul Pogba and what you do see for France is, and I always say this, in my opinion, Paul Pogba's best position is in the midfield, because he's got so many things. He can drive with the ball, he can hit a 30-yard pass, he can tackle, he can win a header. When he's on the left wing, he can do a lot of good things, but there's a lot of things he can't do because he's on the left wing. So I think Solskjaer putting Pogba on the left wing, I know a lot of us quite liked it and it meant more creativity, but it's a bottle job, really, because that's not where... If you've got Paul Pogba in your team, you don't put him on the left wing. He's one of the best midfielders in the world. But what he's not is a holding midfielder. He's not a holding midfielder, and he said that yesterday. When I'm playing in the midfield for Man United, the first priority is to defend. When he was playing for France last night, he's got Kante and Rabiot, who will do more defensive work, and he's got more freedom. He has to get back, but he also can get forward. That's the real Paul Pogba for me. So have United failed Paul Pogba? Yes, they have. It's not just Ole, it's Mourinho as well. They failed Paul Pogba by not understanding what his best position is and building a team around him. And this is why a centre defensive midfielder has been a priority of mine and many other fans for more than this summer, probably 3 summers. Because if you've got a good centre defensive midfielder, you get the best out of Paul Pogba. And United have never got the best out of Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba's been inconsistent. At times his head has dropped, and that's on Pogba. But ultimately, Manchester United not getting the best out of Paul Pogba is ridiculous, considering that that's French national team, and in club football you can build any team. It's not about nationality. You know, you could have Fabinho, De Bruyne and Pogba. What a midfield that would be. Belgium, French, Brazilian. So Man United have got no excuse for never building the midfield that Paul Pogba needs. The issue we've got now is that man of the match yesterday, exactly what I said last night. If Pogba arrives in this tournament and does really, really well, The eyes of the world are on Paul Pogba. Now imagine Paul Pogba was a Juventus player and United were interested in him. We'd all be sat here this morning going, get in for Paul Pogba. 1 year left on his contract. Make an offer of 30 million. They might take it. If they don't do that, say we're going to take him for free in the summer. You know, that is the reality of the situation that some United fans need to wake up to. Switch the situation around. Paul Pogba, one of the best performances in the Euros so far. Man of the match last night. One of the best midfielders in Europe at the moment. And he's got 1 year left on his deal and he's 28. If he was playing for Juventus or somebody else, we'd be sat here saying, go and get him. It's going to be really hard. Loads of clubs are going to want him, but go and get him. Why is that situation any different because he's a United player? Do you not think Juventus and PSG, maybe even Real Madrid, have seen Pogba last night and gone, Riola, what's the situation? They'll all be on the phone. And he's going to be in this tournament for a long time. And he's going to get better in this tournament. So, look, Pogba is wandering towards those exit doors, and it's whether it's going to happen next month or next summer, and that is a big concern for Man United. Pogba is a Ferrari and we are a showroom with multiple Fiats and Impalas. Why would he stay, says Subbo. And imagine Real Madrid or Bayern not winning a title for 10 years. United needs to invest the dollars, says Stephen Bayland. Well, look, PSG could do a madness this summer. They could get Pogba, they could get Varane, and they could get Ronaldo, and they could get them all for relatively cheap prices. I mean, it's painful. It's absolutely painful because Varane will go for 50 million, Pogba will go for about 40 million, and Ronaldo will go for about 20 million. So they could get Pogba, Varane, and Ronaldo for 120 million. And obviously they're going to spend a lot in wages, but they can afford that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And of course, Pogba is with the French squad with Varane. So, you know, it's not looking good for Manchester United on the Pogba front. And it does worry me. It does worry me. But we'll have to just wait and see. But he was very good last night and it's a problem for United. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is people talk about if Paul Pogba goes, who will replace him? Now, this is going to make you feel a little bit... Well, I don't know how it's going to make you feel. It might make you feel really happy because I actually do rate Jesse Lingard. But my stance on Jesse Lingard has always been that he was so close to the Euros squad. The World Cup is in 18 months. If he wants to be in the World Cup squad, he needs to play first team football. He is not good enough to play for Manchester United's first team. Not if we want to try and win a title. I'm sorry, Jesse Lingard don't get in a Liverpool team. He doesn't get in a Chelsea team. He doesn't get in a Man City team. So why would he get in a Man United side? Jesse Lingard plays for Leicester. He plays for West Ham. He plays for Everton. That to me is Lingard's level. You know, the sort of James Maddison sort of player. That is Lingard's level. It's a very good level, but it's not the United level. Unless he wants to be a bench player. But if he wants to be a bench player, you're not going to get in the England squad, mate. So that, to me, I think Lingard... I know Lingard loves United, and I really like Lingard. I think he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But this is about what's best for United, but it's also about what's best for Jesse. Jesse has proven he needs to play first-team football. He's not good enough to get it at United. Look, maybe he'll start every game for United next season, but if he does, we're not going to win the title because, for me, he falls into the same category as certain other players that just aren't good enough for us to win the title. They're bench players. And does he want to be a bench player at United? I don't know. Maybe he does. And if he does, well, you know, we'll all give him that support. But interestingly, this is coming from ex-West Ham United employees. So, I mean, look, whether it's true or not, I don't know how many... they've got nearly 100,000 followers on Twitter, and apparently they're quite good in relation to West Ham news. What they're saying is at this point it appears that whilst West Ham have interest, it will be hard for them to convince Manchester United to sell Lingard, and they could be preparing to give him a new contract. Solskjaer has spoken to Lingard and has said he is prepared to give him a chance to prove himself, which Lingard is set to be keen on. His heart has always been torn between following discussions, it does appear that Ollie is prepared to give him another chance to prove himself. I mean, look, that you cannot, if there's any truth in that, you cannot blame Jesse Lingard, who loves Manchester United, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or anybody at United has said, we want to give you a new contract and we're going to give you another chance. Like, you can't turn your back on that if you're a United lad and you want to be United. You can't turn your back on that with Lingard. But what I would say to Jesse is, I wouldn't trust that offer. I wouldn't trust that offer. I would go for what's best for your career, because I don't see you doing anything than sporadic bench appearances. I genuinely don't. But it goes back to what I said yesterday. If there's any truth in that story, this is what worries me about United as a whole. The jobs for the boys mentality. the friendship mentality, the favouritism mentality. You've got a player there in Jesse Lingard who 4 or 5 clubs would give you £25 million for right now. And you need to buy a CDM and a centre-back, and money's too tight to mention. But you're not going to take that 25 million because you don't want to say, if I'm honest with you, mate, I can't guarantee your first team time. You need to go elsewhere. And take the money and buy something that you need. But it just seems like Ollie can't do that. If that's... Well, and look, we are speculating here. But if Lingard is given a new contract, and Mata is given a new contract, and Matic is given a new contract, it's all of the same thing at United. This jobs for the boys mentality that they cannot cut the apron strings and do things that are going to benefit us as a team. And not only that, if you keep Lingard and Mata, that's 2 bench spots gone. What happens to Hannibal? What happens to Diallo? What happens to Shoretire? We are closing off opportunities to the first team by keeping players that ultimately have had their chances, and we want to give them more chances. But the disappointing thing with the Lingard thing is that I think he's better off elsewhere because he's a first team player for somebody else, and also it's money that we could be using elsewhere. Where's the money coming in? A few weeks ago we said 25 million or 20 million for Lingard, 15 million for Delot. 40 million for one of the goalkeepers. That's nearly 80 million quid. Delot doesn't look like he's going. Lingard looks like he might get a new contract. Are we actually selling one of the goalkeepers? So, all this money that's coming in may not happen. Julian says, we need a manager who can make the hard decisions, not someone who wants to please everyone. Look at the goalkeeper situation. We're a United, not a charity. Always said this. I know a lot of you have said it as well. Ruthless. If you want to be successful, you've got to be ruthless. Look at Klopp. Look at Pep. Over the years, they will remove them. Doesn't matter whether they're going to have a statue outside the stadium or not. They will remove them from the team because they are ruthless. And Paul Fernandez says Ollie's a yes man. This, for me, is another area where Ollie needs to improve. And this is a massive opportunity for him this summer. Ollie's got to be ruthless. We don't know what the truth is yet. Mata's not got a contract yet. Lingard's not got a contract yet. Matic hasn't got a contract yet. But if you're giving 3 contracts out, this only feeds in to the whole, we're too nice, it's too much jobs for the boys. I mean, what we're going to do? Give Jesse a 10-year contract and a coaching job? I mean, based on what? He's got to improve. And it's the same thing. It's the substitutions. It's the tactics. It's the set-piece defending, it's the breaking down the low block, it's the favouritism of using the same players all the time and neglecting others. These things need to change. But I think within that club, from top to bottom, you see it with Murtagh being moved into the director of football job. When Woodward goes, I think they'll move Richard Arnold in. We're not looking at specialism. We're looking at, there's a word for it and I don't know what it is, but apathy, basically. Oh, he's gone, let's move someone else into the role. Good businesses will scout good talent. Manchester United just seem to want to keep with the status quo, rocking all over the world. Anish, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. A little bit of a story on Trippier. Apparently Kieran Trippier is a little bit worried about being priced out of a move for Manchester United. This is coming from... Let me see where this was coming from. Kieran Trippier. Where was the story about Kieran Trippier? Manchester Evening News is saying the only thing Manchester United awaited signing Sancho is agreeing a fee, which I think we all know. Hurst Class has said that Manchester United would consider selling Delot if they received a reasonable offer. There was something about Trippier somewhere that I saw today, and I just can't find where it was. Where are you, Kieran? Kieran Trippier. Oh yeah, from Hurst Class, that's why. Kieran Trippier fears that Atletico Madrid will price him out of a dream move to Manchester United this summer. United are unwilling to meet Atletico's valuation, which is in excess of £20 million. Trippier will not force his way out of Madrid, but would be open to a switch to United if the opportunity arises. His family plan to move back to the Northwest this summer. He's a United fan and would jump at the chance to move to Old Trafford. Well, you know what? I think we spotted this mistake. We spotted this mistake quite early, didn't we? That Manchester United, they do want Kieran Trippier, but Atletico Madrid, another club that's just not going to have the wool pulled over their eyes. They're not going to let us have him on the cheap. And what? Going back to Sancho again, what is this summer about? What are we doing this summer? We've picked up the Sancho deal from last summer and we're negotiating again for weeks and weeks and weeks. We heard about Trippier being a quick, easy backup right back to Wan-Bissaka, and it looks like that's going to be protracted. So basically, at the moment, we're spending our time on Kieran Trippier, a backup right back, and Sancho that should have been done last summer. That's the fruit of Manchester United's endeavours. At the moment, it's all about Sancho and a backup right back, and neither deal is easy or straightforward. And look, in fairness to Dortmund and Atletico Madrid, the evidence is there that United make these deals complicated. Whether it's Leicester for Maguire, Crystal Palace for Wan-Bissaka, Sporting Lisbon for Bruno, Juventus for Pogba, United are the circus. United are the ones that are consistently in the know, and within the groups of people in the know, journalists, agents. United's name is one that is laughed at. United's name is one that is mocked in the football industry because we are a joke when it comes to transfer negotiations. So, we just don't seem to be able to do deals quickly. Keep Jesse, Mata, Delo, etc. needs huge cash flow apart from this. What happens to Donny? Good transfer would be Lingard for Phillips from Leeds, says Vikram. I don't think Jesse would go to Leeds. Mark, the way we are run, I won't be surprised if Phil Jones gets a new 5-year contract for 100k a week, but we shouldn't go with all the crap in social media, says Amit. Welcome to the Members Club, Anish. Thank you very much for joining. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. I can see Ollie in, Ollie out in the chat. I will say this. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be judged next season, but what an opportunity we've got with those fixtures that we've got. If you've not seen the fixtures for United, the first 6 are ridiculously exciting in the sense that we can go and win them. Leeds at home, Southampton away, Wolves away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, Aston Villa at home, and then you've got Everton at home, Leicester away. We don't play one of the traditional top 6 until the end of October. What an opportunity to go out there and gather some. What an opportunity to go out there and gather some momentum, because that would be fantastic if Manchester United can start the season well. And the opportunity is there, but you've got to deliver the players and you've got to remove the players. Next season, I don't want to look at the bench. I don't want to look at United's team next season. I mean, this is what I fear. This is my concern. You get Sancho. Pogba, for me, I think is going to go one way or the other. He might be in the team next year, but it'll be his last year. I can't see Pogba signing a new deal. So we're going to bring Sancho in to lose Pogba. That, in a balanced thing, Sancho, Pogba goes. That is the truth. Let me be honest. You buy Sancho, positive. You lose Pogba, back where you were. I mean, am I wrong? I'm not. I don't think I'm wrong. You bring Sancho in, but you sell Pogba. That's not progress. Some would say it's a step backwards. It's certainly not a step forward. So I think Sancho comes in, but ultimately we lose Pogba at some point in the next 12 months. So that just balances itself out. And then next season, we've still got McFred. We've still got McFred starting. We've probably still got a centre-back next to Maguire that is a question mark, whether it's Lindelof or a backup signing that's not Varane. We have no CDM. And then I look at the bench and it's got Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic and Dan James on it. And I go, is this progress? Is this progress? We've got to make progress this summer. Get the centre defensive midfielder, get Jadon Sancho, get a centre-back and resolve Pogba's future. And if you've got that and you remove some of the deadwood, then suddenly I think we're in a good position. And that's the challenge for United. It's not the challenge for me or you. The challenge for United is resolve Pogba's future in a positive way. Get Jadon Sancho in. Get a top-class CDM in. Get a top-class centre-back in. Sell one of the goalkeepers. Remove the deadwood. We got momentum. But if you don't solve the goalkeeper situation, you don't get a decent centre-back, you don't get a CDM, you let Pogba go and you bring Sancho in and you keep all the deadwood. They're 2 scenarios, but they're 2 very stark scenarios. One of them is positivity and momentum. The other one is handbrake FC. And that is not in Ollie's hands, really. It's in the hands of the board. Because what people think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think is really unfair in some ways, that they think that Solskjaer controls the transfer market. Solskjaer is his own man. If he decides to keep Lingard, Mata and Matic, I think he's wrong and he will be judged on that. But he will not have any say on what signings come in, because that's about Woodward, that's about the board, that's about Matt Judge. And as I said before, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, people forget, he was given the dream ticket. The dream ticket. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is actually a nice guy with strong morals and strong principles. He will never forget the favour or the leg up or the opportunity that the Glazers and Ed Woodward gave him. He's not going to smash the door down and throw them under the bus. He was never going to do that because he wouldn't be at Manchester United if it wasn't for the Glazers. So Ollie is going to be loyal to those people who gave him this massive opportunity. So we're not going to get, it's on the board for me. Ollie United's answer to Arsene Wenger, top 4 man. Soon he will be part of the problem too. Glazers happy, Ollie happy. Only the fans with ambitions are frustrated. We will drop our expectations soon. Mate, you can't compare Ollie to Arsene Wenger. I mean, I think Arsenal fans would love Wenger back now. Top 4 for them is a dream. It's like winning the bloody treble. I mean, Arsenal can't get top 4 for love nor money. They can't get top 6. They'd love Wenger back. They'd love it. You can't knock that. Twan Sebi's going to go out on loan. I mean, I just think that's a waste of time. I really do. Why are you loaning a player that's not going to be here, that's not been given the opportunity he should have done? I want Twan Sebi to be part of United's future, but the way he was treated last season's a joke. But loaning players like that, he's not 19, he's 23. Why are you loaning a player? Why are we loaning these players like Pereira out now? They're mid-20s. You're either going to use them or you get rid of them. Loaning players like that who, they've either been given their chance and they're not good enough, or they've not been given the chance where they should have done. Really, we'd probably be better off selling Twan Sebi and taking the money than loaning him off. Because if Twan Sebi goes off and has a good loan at, Bournemouth or something like that, he's done that before. Yeah, he's played against PSG and pocketed Mbappe and Neymar. Like, Twan Sebi hasn't got anything to prove. It's just whether Ollie wants to use him or not, and clearly he doesn't. He may want Lingard, Matic, Mata to go, but if the board can't sell them, then what can he do, says Vinit. Oh, come on, Vinit. Wake up and smell the coffee. Mata's out of contract. You just let him go. Matic, loads of teams will take him. And Jesse Lingard, there's a huge queue. I'm sorry, Vinit. I appreciate your point, but we are not in a position where we can't let those... It's not Phil Jones. Vinit, if you want to talk about Phil Jones and Pereira, how do you sell crap players? I agree. Lingard, there's a huge queue. 20 million in our pocket within a week if we decide to sell him. Mata's out of contract. You just let him go. And you're telling me we can't get 5-10 million for Matic? Come on. They're the easiest players to move on in the world. Twan said he will go out on loan, says Angelo. Can't wait for Pogba to leave, says Jimbo. Ollie has ruined more players than he's improved, says Nicholas. Have Matic is dusted, says Paul. I agree. I think Mata's dusted as well. I really do. I don't think Jesse's dusted. I think Jesse's a good player. I just don't think he fits into what Manchester United need to do, if you're honest. So there you go. Twan Sebi will be loaned out for the coming season. That's coming from Jonathan Schrager, so that's where that story's coming from as well. Have you seen this quote from Pat Nevin, who's an ex-Chelsea player? Modric, Aston Villa's McGinn is better than him. I'd rather have him in my team. What an idiot. That's got to be the worst quote of 2021. John McGinn is better than Modric. I'd rather have him in my team. And it's nothing to do with United, but what a silly comment. I honestly think we will go into next season with De Gea and Hendo again, says Dazzo. Well, look, what did I say? That's what my concern is. I think we are spending too long on Jadon Sancho again. And I think that we are going to end up with no midfielder, an inferior centre-back, 2 goalkeepers will still be here, we won't raise any funds, and we'll end up with a bench full of deadwood again, and we'll grind our way. We probably will win our first 8 games, but we'll probably win them all 2-1 when we're 1-0 down at half-time. Jay Ling's fam, do you think this season will be Ollie's last? Mate, it's so... You know what? I'm guaranteeing Ollie's not watching this, but if he was watching it, I'd say, Ollie, your future's on a knife edge. So many people are Ollie in. A lot of people are already out. The transfer window is about as clear as a muddy window. Nobody can see what the plan is. And I think that this goes back to what I said a couple of days ago. You speak to people in the industry, they'll say United is a circus. Every now and again they'll pull out a fantastic act, but most of the time it's sending the clowns. They're a circus act. And the problem with being a circus act is you never know what's going to happen. So the fans who get frustrated or optimistic, they're not wrong, because you never know. You don't know what the vision is. Maybe they are going to pull out a Ronaldo, but at the other hand, maybe they're going to stick with McFred in the midfield as well. For every good thing they do, they'll do something ridiculously bad, because there's no real sense of direction or planning at United, and there hasn't been since the days of Sir Alex Ferguson. And that's the problem, isn't it? We've got no idea what's going to happen this summer. Mirabelle, thank you for the sticker there. And Subo says, soon enough, Alanga, Mabry and others will leave, like Gomez, Pigmel and Woolston, since we can't get rid of our deadwood impacting the youth. I mean, Alanga's a very interesting player. You know, Hannibal's a very interesting player. They need a path to the first team. Diallo is a very interesting player. But it's on a knife edge for me. Ollie's future, United's future, could be a brilliant one. It could be a disappointing one. And the reason is, it's almost like that video I did on Saturday night. 5 transfers to get into the title race. And what was those 5 transfers? Sell a keeper for 40 million and sell Lingard for 20 million. 60 million in your pocket. 100 million budget. Spend 80 on Sancho. Spend 40. I think it was actually 50 or 45 on Varane, and spend 35 on Zakaria. You've got or Bissouma. You've got a CDM who's very good. You've got a centre back who's very good. You've got a right winger who's very good, and you have moved a goalkeeper and Lingard, and your net spends £100 million. That would be positive going into the new season. The other side of the coin is you don't sell a goalkeeper, you give Lingard a new contract, you lose Pogba, you get Sancho, but you don't get a CDM and you don't really get a good centre-back. That to me is then a negative. And you don't remove the deadwood. So for me, remove the deadwood, remove a goalkeeper, get a good centre-back, get Sancho, get a good CDM and try and resolve the Pogba future. That's positivity, but it can flip to negativity very, very quickly. And that's why it's such a very big summer for Manchester United. Mark, if Ollie had to go, who would you want to come in? Mikel Roach. At the moment, you know what? I'm not a massive fan of Conte. I mean, he's very good, but I've always been a bit reluctant about Conte. Conte's available. Zidane's available. You know. I'm scared about this transfer window, Mark. There's been nothing different from the past. Leave any incoming. We aren't even moving on the deadwood, says Sarab. And Ollie should have leave. Zidane is available. If there is any ambition, they should do it. Back them and have success. Complete mess. It's hopeless for the fans. Well, look, actually, it's not a total mess. There are people out there that would say that, you know, there's still time in this transfer window, and there is. There definitely is. But at the moment, I'm going to go with evidence, and the evidence is the past few years. And at the moment, this summer transfer window feels very, very much like every other transfer window. It's like an old jumper you get out in the winter. It feels the same. You know, it is the same. Where is the urgency? Where is the direction? Where is the clarity? Where is the removal of players? You know, where is the recruitment of players? All I know with United at the moment is we're negotiating Sancho. That's it. Nobody's leaving. Nobody else is coming in. It's all on Sancho. And this happened last summer. And time is moving on. It's not going to be long till it's the end of June. And then a whole month has gone. And it's only a month until we start playing football again. So my concern is director of football, technical director, Woodward's leaving, the Glazers out. Oh, we're going to change. I don't actually see anything different about this summer transfer window yet. Things can change. The Euros are on. Yes, it's difficult. But these deals won't suddenly get worked on in mid-July. They need to be worked on now. I believe Ollie is aware he's on a knife edge, which is why last season he played the same team constantly. It might be the same this season, says Vikram. We need to see change. We need to see reform. That's what we need to see at Manchester United. Advath says nothing's changed. I think the concern at the moment is nothing has changed. Things needs to change. That's what the protests were all about. Change. Reform. United have a real opportunity here to show that change, to show that reform, to be ambitious, to remove the deadwood, to be ruthless, to be aggressive in bringing in the right players. They've got a real opportunity. You know, as people say, Varane has never been so attainable. We won't get Varane, but imagine if we did get Varane. That's change. Sancho will happen. Pogba could sign a new contract. A CDM is available. Change, reform, improvement. Let's do it. 4 things. They're all there to be done. Actions speak louder than words, says Gabriel Noel. This board has gotten their empty words to quiet. This board has put out empty words to quiet the protest. I expect minimal to be done, and will just enjoy watching Bruno play in a United shirt for as long as I can. Well, he won't be here for long, Gabriel. He won't be here for long if we don't change. This is also going to lead to ridiculous pressure on Sancho next season, when we definitely have a queue for quiet games, says Crash. Imagine we sign Zizou, Pogba will stay, can get Camavinga, Varane will come moreover approving the winner, but we should give Ollie time for now, thought, says Amit. I mean, Amit, you're not going to do much favours for the Ollie Inners brigade, and you're going to certainly put fire on the Ollie out brigade. But you know what? You do raise a point, whether it's a good point or a bad point. Zidane is available. United will not sack Solskjaer. He will get a new contract very soon. They'll probably announce his new contract straight after the Sancho deal because they'll want a positive. They wanted to announce it after the Europa League final, but obviously that didn't go the way it needed to go. But if Zidane was United manager, Pogba would sign a new deal, Varane would come, and we would get a top-class CDM, and we would also remove the deadwood, because that's what Zidane would do. But that's not the future, and that's not going to happen. So why can't our current manager look at that and go, this is what a top-class manager would do? Ollie's on holiday at the moment. Why can't he sit there and think, oh, if I lose my job and Zidane came in, what would he do? Right, I'm going to try and do those things. Would Zidane give a new contract to Mata? No. Would he give a new contract to Matic? No. Would he keep Lingard? No. Would he sell a goalkeeper? Yes. Would he bring a centre defensive midfielder in? Yes. Would he go absolutely hell for leather to get Varane? Yes. Would he do everything he could to keep Pogba? Yes. Just do what a good manager would do, and United will improve. Anyway, look, we could talk and talk and talk. I've really enjoyed the show this morning, actually. What's going on today? So, 7 o'clock tonight, we'll have a show for you as per usual. Obviously, we will go live if anything breaks as well, but the Euros are going on as well. I'm fully aware of that. 5 o'clock today, it's me and Jordan. He's Welsh, watching Dan James meet against Turkey, big game. And also, we've got the Italy game at 8 o'clock tonight on That's Football, so make sure you tune in for the watch-alongs. I think Beth and Joe are doing the 2 o'clock game, which is Finland, so make sure you support them on the channel for that. Welcome to the Members Club, Fraser, Therese. But also, as I said, United stand picks for the Wales game. If you've already downloaded United stand picks from last season, we're doing Euro games as well. So you can win, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't remember what the cash prize pot is for this game, but it's Wales against Turkey, 12 questions. If you get the most points, you win the cash prize pot. You've got to be over 18 to play because obviously we're giving away cash prizes. 12 questions to do with the Wales versus Turkey game. Links in the video description. Terms and conditions are there as well. If you've already downloaded it, you play it. It's free to play. If you've not downloaded it, play it and give it a go. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care, and thanks very much for your company this morning. Or if you're not watching it this morning, thanks very much for watching.